With the wall created, now I'm going to apply a texture. Right-clicking on the geometry, choosing Assign New Material. I'll choose Arnold, AI Standard Surface. And I'll immediately name it. And I don't want my bricks to have a shine, so I'm going to change the specular weight to 0. Going to the Color tab under Base, I'll click on the checkerboard, and I'll apply the default checkerboard inside of Maya. Selecting the geometry, I'll delete by type history, center the pivot, and I'm clicking on Freeze Transforms. If any of these don't appear on your shelf, you can get them up here at the top. Freeze Transforms under Modify, Freeze Transform, as well as Center Pivot. With that done, I'll hold down the space bar. I'm going to go to UVs, and I'm going to choose Automatic. If I go to the UV editor now, I can see it's been broken down into a number of UV maps that I can now converge and then bring it to Photoshop to make my texture. I'm first going to put the two walls on top of each other, selecting the one in the checkerboard pattern, right-clicking and choosing UV shell, selecting, hitting W. I'll move it out over the other. I could go to Modify, and I could go to Rotate, and if I went to the options, in here I can set this rotation for the angle I want. So I set this to -90, and I'll hit Apply until they're going in the same direction. Now with those two, I'll select both of them, and I'll put them here. And all the other UV maps we're seeing are for perimeters, either on the inside of the window arc or around the outside edge, which means they can be put on top of each other. And I'll marquee select all of those, and I'll put those down by the two wall UVs. Marquee selecting all of them now. I'll hit R on the keyboard, and I'll scale them to fit inside my UV editor. Now I'm going to rotate all the UV maps so that my wall is horizontal. Now inside the tools in the UV editor under rotation, because I've got an increment of 90 degrees, it could be 90 or -90, I can now use the rotation tool by hitting E on the keyboard, and if I click and drag and snap, it will go in -90 degrees, and now I've got the orientation the way I want inside the editor. I'll return to my object mode. Now that I'm back in my object mode, I can go to Image, UV Snapshot, and I can generate my brick wall skin. Clicking on Apply and Close, I'm now ready to go into Photoshop.